All right. So this is something that I've been working on. This is a massive workflow that I've been building out here for AI guys. Okay. So one of the biggest things that we have is, I mean, a lot of us are media buyers, creative strategists, CRO, we do our own offers, or if we don't, we do our offers, we work with a lot of different clients and so on and so forth. What I did here is I wanted to build out probably one of the biggest and largest workflows. So I wanted it to work in a sequential order. So think about this, right? You're coming in here and let's just say, I'm going to open this up. What we're going to have here is a workflow here when it comes to market research. Boom. You're going to have all your market research. You're going to pull Amazon reviews. You're going to pull product reviews. You're going to pull TikTok. You're going to pull Reddit. You're going to pull YouTube. You're going to pull Google keywords. And then you're also going to pull out a Google Trends as well. All of this is then plugged in here into a client brain. And again, I have some NDAs here, so I can't show all the client brain here, but it pulls into a client brain here. So you can see there's 59 files and 19 folders. It pulls it all into that client brain, everything that's then created in there. Then if you think about the workflows or the things that we actually do as either creative strategists or media buyers, and also some people where we work on landing pages, because I work on landing pages and offers as well. I've created an engine, a quality gate, and SOPs for every single workflow that we're going to have. Meaning, you want to build out UGC videos, I've created a workflow and a gate and a QA gate for everything in there, right? So if you can see some of these right here, this is why it's failed, right? Tied to one named gate, and then we're going to have a failure solution. So it self-populates and actually makes it itself better because it creates a self-fulfilling loop every single time, right? Which is absolutely amazing. And so it comes in here and it detects it and it breaks it all down. I find this to be incredibly powerful because what AI has, it has this generic memory. It's why most people say don't rely on AI to do your copywriting. And then a lot of people give you another very generic thing to say, which is just give it better prompts, give it better market research or whatever it might be. And all of that is right. And it's also not the full picture. What I mean by it's also not the full picture is that it's missing its own feedback loops that make it get better and better and better and better and better and better and better. So think about it this way. Think about right now you have this generic memory because it pulls in from all of the interwebs, it pulls all this stuff. It has generic memory. We're going to enrich that memory with all that market research, the voice of the customer, and we're going to piece it all together into just this one big market research into the client brain. Then what we're going to do is we're going to connect it to the actual Meta Ads account. We're going to use the MCP here, and what it's going to do is it's going to pull in all the information, all the winners, and this is where you get this amazing dashboard here that I built out. Super badass. Again, this is just so cool. We get to see so many cool things in here. I built this out and I think you guys are going to absolutely love it. Cool. So that's a little sneak peek there. The next part about this is it goes through AI slop gates. It goes in through in-depth gates, right? Because now we have to deepen the memory. So we're going to show the memory and how it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper every single time, which means that it learns from itself. Then what it's going to have, its own, I guess you could say, editor, right? We call this the prosecutor. The editor is the prosecutor. It comes in there and it prosecutes and it makes every line, every hook, everything match with that market research, match with the depth of the copy that we're looking for. And it gives you this copy that's actually very strong. Because a lot of people say that, hey, 80% of copywriting is the editing part. Sure, that's very true. But what if you could automate a lot of that? And what most people fail to understand is that the depth of the copy comes from the memory that you create with chat. Because right now, remember, chat is pulling from generic memory. We're creating depth in the memory so that it pulls from that memory to create the kind of copy, to create the kind of ads that we want. In addition to that, it becomes, a sequential workflow where we go from market research to the actual assets of the client, to the client KPIs, to the actual Meta Ads account that's also connected with Shopify because I connected with Shopify, I connected with Clarity, and I also connected with GA4 so we can see this and all the diagnosis, all the change logs, everything. This auto updates every single day, guys, at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then it tells us what we need to do. So again, this is just an example, just a trial one, but here we can see audience network, right? It's very stable, it's not good, it's bad, whatever. So it's telling us this. But then it's also telling us that the Facebook feed here is actually where you get the highest click to purchase conversion ratio. It's 14%, absolutely amazing. So really, really, really good. And then it tells you what shifted. Click share 21% to 29%. audience network went down and why. Then it tells why it did that, and it goes through all this stuff, right? And also gives a diagnosis ladder of things that we can look at, and then deeper funnel metrics, all this type of stuff. Everything here is going to get deeper, and it also tells what's fatiguing, what's not fatiguing, and why. And then we can go deeper into it. We can go clarity, tells us how it's doing well with clarity, the scroll depth, blah blah blah, all this stuff. Again, you guys, we can go through this. You can also choose yesterday, you could choose the day before, you could choose all this stuff, and you can look at the change logs. So the change logs here, let's say we excluded placement network on the 7th, right? We turned off a specific ad, right? And then now we're going to see what the impact is so far. So this is going to be very good. And then on Mondays, every Monday, it's going to have a scheduled report. The pipeline grades each open row before window versus after window, the CPA, the CTR, the clicks, the purchase, the frequency, plus clarity scroll, where the change touched the landing page, and writes a weekly impact report to the vault, which is this vault, which comes in here into this client brain. So it literally trains itself on the data that we're getting and the changes that we make, and it goes through this whole entire process, which is one of the sickest workflows I've ever seen. Then you take that and it identifies which ads are doing well. So we'll come in here, right? So we have some example ones. This ad right here is doing super well. Once it gives us that analysis, we can actually plug that back in and go through our static creation workflow. Within that static creation workflow, what it does is then we give it a couple of, not a couple prompts, but maybe a couple nudges, like a click or two, goes in and actually builds out brand new statics based on this best performance. It creates diverse iterations because we taught it how to create diverse iterations. Of course, that's how we work. Create diverse iterations of this, and then we can go in then and launch it right away. It's just a click of a button. Let's say we take the top performing argument from that and the top performing messaging from that. And what we're actually going to create from there is say, oh, we want to make this into a UGC video. Cool, perfect. Plug it in, get the scripts. And again, it has its own hook gates, it has its own body copy script gates. So everything is in depth, and it's not going to use this filler generic language. No, it's going to use specific language. For example, I'm writing an ad for a client, and it talks about mass gainer and how mass gainer actually sits inside of the person's stomach feeling like wet cement. That's very visceral imagery, and that's what we trained on. Very visceral copywriting, very symbolic copywriting, creating associations and creating relatability, and also no assumptions, right? So everything is there. It's very freaking cool. So this contains your engines, your gates, your client brain, your market research, your dashboards, and creates this fulfilling loop and cycle. It looks at every little thing and it pieces all together, and it gives that information to you so you can synthesize, you can create new ads so that you can then start to expand it and work on these workflows and do this for every single client that you work with. This is where it becomes the most, I believe, one of the most badass workflows anybody's created, because everybody's created workflows that are not this in depth. And I'm looking for a sequential workflow from the market research all the way to the ads being launched, all the way to a new landing page or a new offer being tested, to that diagnosis and that analysis of what was created and what was done, to the actual data coming in so that we know what's working, so that it improves the client brain and the knowledge of that client, and we know what's working, what angles are working, what concepts are working, what video scripts are working. Because in here, in this client section here, it logs in all of the best performing video scripts that you could pull from and work from and analyze, and it pulls in all the statics that worked and did really well, and you can pull in, you can analyze it. All of this is essential for us as media buyers and creative strategists, and us who even do CRO, to be able to have this information in our palm of our hands, where we can wake up on Monday morning, we get it, we have an entire analysis of what we did last week, if things are fatiguing, if it changed, even in the traffic quality, if it shifted. Guys, this is the coolest thing ever, if it even shifted in the last 7 days, and it tells us, hey, it's shifted, right? Spend shifted into the Facebook placements or lower poor performing placements, because we can see where it shifted the spend. And that's incredibly essential for us to be able to create an incredible diagnosis on everything that we do. So this is the whole entire workflow, and it is one of the most comprehensive workflows that I have seen out there. There's no one that goes through all of this. And it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better and better and better because, well, I'm a media buyer. I write landing pages. I spend hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month, and I am enriching this data every single time. So if you are someone who you're like, I want to be the beta for this, then let's get you in here. Let's get you booking a call. Let's get you being a part of this beta. And let's get you coming in here and checking this out, because I'm telling you, this is where things are moving to. This is where the future is going to go. I full-heartedly believe that. And this is why I'm saying I built out each and every single one of these steps, thinking about the media buyer in mind, the creative strategist in mind, the person who's also running the CRO, and the person who wants to see the entire flow from A to Z. This includes static format, new static formats, concepts, how to even come up with concepts as well. I have a whole concept and angle creations part of it. So you can come in here, plug in your market research, and it creates all of that. This is it's massive. It's one of the most comprehensive workflows that I've seen when it comes to meta ads. Everything is cut off in its own isolated pieces. I've made it so it's sequential, so that we get the data, so that we can see what is next, what to do next, and at click a button, we can create what's next. And we know that it's going to be good because we have the quality gates, we have the SOPs for it, we have the engines built out, and everything here is all pieced into one thing. Put it together. So yeah, this is kind of the demo, guys. This is it. This is the beta that I'm rolling out. So if you are interested in it, either click the link below and book a call, schedule a call with us, or if I send this over to you on Facebook or whatever here, then send me a message, DM me. Let's go through this. Let's kick some ass, take some names. Talk to you guys soon.